Roger Goodell never takes sides. He protects the owners. He protects the shield. But tonight, he decided to protect Shedeur Sanders. In a stunning break from protocol, the commissioner paused his playoff update to address the witch hunt happening in Cleveland. He didn't mention names, but we know who he was talking to. Goodell just sent a direct warning to every reporter trying to sabotage Shedeur. If you can't cover the game fairly, you won't cover it at all. He effectively threatened to pull credentials to stop the hate. This confirms it. Shedeur isn't just a player. He is the franchise. And the NFL is protecting its investment. I'm going to explain why this statement might actually hurt Shedeur in the locker room more than it helps. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. If you want to know the fallout of Goodell's rant, click that button. Let's analyze the warning. Here is the moment the NFL declared war on the media.
This really should have made super headlines, but it didn't. It said NFL announced punishment decision for Shedeur Sanders incident.
I got it wrong on a number of levels, from the process that I led to the decision that I reached. But now I will get it right and do whatever is necessary to accomplish that.
This really should have made super headlines, but it didn't. We are witnessing something in the NFL that has literally never happened before. Imagine the head of the entire league, Roger Goodell, a man who usually hides behind statements and committees, suddenly stepping onto the front lines to defend one single player. And he's not just defending him, he is going to war for him. The person at the center of this storm is none other than Shedeur Sanders. The commissioner is making moves to protect Shedeur from what he is now calling a coordinated campaign of hatred and bias. This is unprecedented, folks. We're talking about the most powerful man in football stepping in to stop what he sees as a systematic destruction of a young superstar. But why now? And what did Goodell find that made him snap? Roger Goodell has been watching, and he is reportedly furious. This isn't about a rookie having a hard time adjusting to the NFL. Goodell has apparently gone in-depth, inquiring about specific incidents where Shedeur was doing everything right, showing that elite potential, putting up numbers, and making plays that only a top-tier quarterback can make. But every time he gained momentum, something strange would happen. A questionable late hit that wasn't flagged. A defensive player taking liberties they wouldn't dare take with Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Goodell isn't just looking at the hits. He's looking at the people holding the whistles. The commissioner has reportedly gathered evidence, suggesting a network involving media personalities, players, and even referees, who allegedly turned a blind eye to fouls committed against Shedeur. Why? To feed a specific narrative. They needed him to look weak. They needed him to look unready. Goodell is essentially accusing the league's ecosystem of rigging the game against one of its brightest stars. And he has made it crystal clear. The days of allowing this organized attack are over.
There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all.
But wait, because this gets personal. The rot reportedly goes all the way to the head coaching office in Cleveland. Sources close to the situation suggest that Roger Goodell was actually the driving force behind the pressure to remove Kevin Stefanski. Why? Because the commissioner saw what Stefanski was doing to Shedeur, and he recognized it immediately as bias. Let's look at the facts. Stefanski refused to give Shedeur the one thing a young quarterback needs to survive: reps. Instead of developing his franchise QB with the first team, Stefanski relegated Shedeur to the scout team. For those who don't know, the scout team is where careers go to die. It's where you put bodies to simulate the other team's offense. It is not where you put your future star. Despite Shedeur showing flashes of brilliance in limited action, Stefanski kept burying him on the depth chart. Goodell saw this for what it was, a setup. It wasn't about football. It was about ensuring Shedeur failed so the coach could say, "I told you so." If the coaching situation was bad, the media landscape was toxic. Goodell is now reportedly going after the specific media figures who have been spreading this venom from day one. And when you look at the receipts, it's hard to blame him. The media has been relentless. Even when Shedeur proved them wrong on the field, they shifted the goalposts. Take Tony Grossi, a veteran reporter who should know better. When Shedeur was dealing with injuries, Grossi wasn't analyzing the recovery timeline. He was openly mocking him. Since when is mocking a player's physical health considered journalism? That is just cruelty, plain and simple. Then you have Mary Kay Cabot, who took a minor off-field incident involving a traffic ticket, something that happens to regular people every day, and tried to spin it into a major character flaw. She tried to paint Shedeur as a problem child over a parking violation. It was a desperate attempt to assassinate his character because they couldn't attack his talent.
I know you've been getting a lot of updates, but we obviously just completed our first meeting in person, our annual meeting in 3 years.
But the attacks didn't stop at traffic tickets. Jason Lloyd recently crossed a line that seemingly forced Goodell's hand. Lloyd went on record calling for the Browns to essentially screw Shedeur by removing him from the team entirely. Not because he wasn't working hard, not because he couldn't throw, but simply because of who he is and the attention he brings. Think about that for a second. A media member is campaigning for a player to lose his job because the media themselves create too much noise around him. It is a circular, toxic logic designed to push Shedeur out of the league.
Goodell sees this clearly.
He sees that no matter what Shedeur does, throw touchdowns, lead drives, stay quiet, the narrative is already written. And for the first time in his career, the commissioner is refusing to let the media write the script.
As you can well imagine from my standpoint, this is no time to get complacent. We have a lot of work to still do.
Why does Roger Goodell care so much? He's handled scandals, lawsuits, and protests before. But this is different. Goodell sees the treatment of Shedeur Sanders as a reflection of a deeply ingrained culture that still holds black quarterbacks back. It's about the double standard. It's about the idea that some players have to be twice as good to get half the credit, while others get infinite second chances. Goodell knows that the NFL's future relies on the black community, the players, the coaches, the culture. If he allows a high-profile black quarterback to be blackballed by a biased media and a jealous coach, he loses the locker room. He loses the trust of the community that built this league. This is a legacy play. Goodell is telling the owners and the media, we are not doing this again. He is putting his foot down to ensure that talent determines success, not the color of your skin or the last name on your jersey. Roger Goodell is effectively at war. He is battling the established media, he is battling old-school coaching mentalities, and he is fighting to change the very culture of the league. Shedeur Sanders has become the symbol of this fight. The fans are already on Shedeur's side. They see the talent, they buy the jerseys, they watch the games. Now, finally, the most powerful man in the sport is on his side too. The question is, can Goodell actually stop the machine? Or is the media hate train too powerful, even for the commissioner? But that wasn't the whole story. And what happens next in the off-season is going to shock everyone. Why does Roger Goodell care so much? He's handled scandals, lawsuits, and protests before. But this is different. Goodell sees the treatment of Shedeur Sanders as a reflection of a deeply ingrained culture that still holds black quarterbacks back. It's about the double standard. It's about the idea that some players have to be twice as good to get half the credit, while others get infinite second chances. Goodell knows that the NFL's future relies on the black community, the players, the coaches, the culture. If he allows a high-profile black quarterback to be blackballed by a biased media and a jealous coach, he loses the locker room. He loses the trust of the community that built this league. This is a legacy play. Goodell is telling the owners and the media, we are not doing this again. He is putting his foot down to ensure that talent determines success, not the color of your skin or the last name on your jersey. Roger Goodell is effectively at war. He is battling the established media,